And what you talking about, Doodoo Brown producing, there's another record that has come back since that you produced. There's some whores in this house.
Right.
And now look at that. Because what year did you produce that record?
Same year as Doodoo Brown. So I used to put out first, the thing that I did first was I used to put out this thing called club tracks. And basically I would take these loops of these songs and I was giving DJs a bridge, right? So back then, you just had to be fast with it or mix with it or throw shit in. I was like, but in Baltimore, they were mixers. Baltimore DJs mix. And I gave them bridges with these songs. So on one of the club tracks album, I put There's Some Whores in the House on the album. And I put a whole bunch of experimental, just one-off songs that became huge. Miss Tony, Whores in the House, a lot of shit on them songs.
Not in your fucking wildest dreams did you think that however many years later that song would be remade in a sense with Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, and have over 1 billion streams, bro.
Yeah. I mean,
ain't that some shit, Frank?
Listen.
1 billion fucking streams, man.
And I tell young people all the time, don't sell your publishing.
Boy.
30 years.
Because you motherfucking 8 now.
30 years.
You 8. Frank.
Is that, you know what it is?
Hey, y'all. Frank, hey, boy.
Hey, listen, let me tell you something.
Because what percentage of that song do you own? Cardi B and Megan?
I don't want to say.
Man, motherfucker, this is Storytime with Legendary Jerry. Yeah, he owned part of it. He owned part. So that's why I say you eat.
Yeah.
So that's why you got that big smile on your face. You eating off that shit.
I'm not smiling because this is the serious part of this shit.
What's that?
Listen, when I put out Doodoo Brown, and this is going to be the teaching moment for you, okay? When I put out Doodoo Brown, back then you had to you make the record, you send it to a mastering place, right? The mastering place masters it. You have to pay for that.
Yep.
And then the master sends it to the record pressing plant.
The vinyl to press up
the vinyl. To press up the vinyl, right? The vinyl will cost you, let's say it's $1 a record. It's a little bit more, but $1 a record, okay? You're going to get back, when they sell that record in the store, you're going to get back $2. Because here's what happens. The first time I put Doodoo Brown out, I called Becky at Liaison Records, right? Becky said, I'm going to need 10,000 records. Well, how much is that going to cost me? They're going to cost you $10,000 to make 10,000 records. Follow the math, everybody. I get 10,000 records sent in for that Friday. They go in the record stores in Baltimore, sells out before 11 o'clock. So now I got to wait another week to put records in the store. This time, she wanted 20,000 records. So it costs $20,000, right? So now I'm out $30,000 in 1992. I don't have no more money. The 20,000 records sell out again Friday afternoon. That Friday, it premiered on WPGC in Washington, D.C.
Boom.
The next order was 50,000 records, which means I need $50,000. The part I didn't tell you, the record stores have 90 days to pay the distributor.
Yep.
And the distributor has 90 days from when they get the money to pay you. So you may be 180 days before you get any money back. That means a half a year. So now I'm out $30,000 and it may be a half a year before I get any money back. So now I got to put out another $25,000. I don't have it. I go to the bank. I had a relationship at the bank. The banker happened to be black. And he was like, I'll give it to you.
And how much money was this?
$25,000. I send it to the pressing plant.
Press up more copies.
Right? So now I'm $55,000 in. It sells out that weekend. The next week, I get the call from my brother in Miami, and it wins on Power 96. You know what the next order was?
100,000.
100,000 records.
They didn't extend you a line of credit.
Who's going to extend a line of credit?
The pressing plant.
No. Back then? No. I'm only 3 weeks in.
Because I
don't have no track record.
But the thing is, if they're getting that many orders.
They didn't. Because a lot of people were ordering a lot of records, and there's a lot of records sitting in people's garages this day that never sold.
Dust, yeah.
Right. Okay. So at that point, I'm stuck. The majors are like, oh, we're going to give it a couple more weeks. So nobody would sign me. I went to Luke. He didn't want it. I went everywhere. Nobody wanted the fucking record. And then my guy who was on the record with me, Stanley, his uncle was named Joey Bonner. Joey Bonner was a big record guy.
Yeah.
He said,
rest in peace,
we're gonna take you over to this label, Warlock. That was Adam Levy.
Yep.
Adam Levy was the son of Mr. Levy in the book The Hitmen.
Yep.
Okay.
Very well.
He said, we're gonna sign to you. We're gonna sign you. Gave me a little advance. He said, but we need an album. Bro, got on a plane, went to Cincinnati to their studio, and did an album in 2 days. They put the album out. I never saw another dime. I never saw another dime on millions of records being sold. So I did Whores in the House. They put it out. I never saw a dime. So when you talk about Cardi B did this record and I ate, no, Cardi B did the record and I got paid back.
Amen,
because
man.
God said, whatever they take from you, I'm going to repay you 10 times. And that's how God works, as long as you stay faithful.
Amen. Amen. Amen to that, bro.
Then that's how that happened.
And Warlock Records never cut you one fucking check.
Nope. They cut me a first advance and that was it.
And that was it.
That was it. Never saw any more money. But the 25th anniversary of Frank Ski's coming out. For all the DJs out there, just wanted to let you know.
And you've been, from a DJ perspective, being on the air, being at the radio station, like I say, from Baltimore to Atlanta. Like I said at the beginning, Radio Hall of Famer. What one thing have you noticed, not noticed, but what is one main difference when you first got in radio to now? And because you're still relevant, you got one of the top shows here in Atlanta, top 2 shows, DC and Atlanta. And you've been relevant for so long, but what's one major thing or one thing that you've noticed over the years from when you first got in radio to now?
These new DJs don't do no service. They don't serve nobody. They don't give back. Yeah, they do a turkey giveaway. Nigga, everybody does that.
Yeah, street niggas do that.
Yeah.
Dope
that don't mean nothing.
Yeah.
But how much are you really giving back? Like, how much are you really, like, volunteering hours? Like weekly, going to schools, reading to kids, taking mentees, feeding the homeless,
taking kids to the Galapagos Islands.
How much are you serving? Like when I got in radio, that was part of what we did. Remember, the black radio station was the heartbeat of the community.
Shit, yeah. Political, everything. You kept up with everything.
You have to do everything.
Heartbeat.
So these kids that are getting in today don't know the service part. So because they don't know the service part, they never really get ingrained in the community. They never really get to be a Greg Street.
Mm-hmm.
They never get to be a Ryan Cameron. Those are from Atlanta. They never get to be a Big Tigger because they haven't put in the grind to give back. There's some dope people out there, and I hear them all the time, man. There's a lot of people I love on the radio, but you got to give back, man. Yeah. You gotta serve the people and give back. Like, what are you doing to give back?
And I've watched you, and you just named 2 other close friends of mine, Greg Street and Ryan Cameron. I've watched all 3 of y'all give selflessly. Like you, I'm talking about Frank. I'm talking about, I could call you or call Frank. And it's funny because I was having this conversation with somebody recently about Greg Street, who's coming on the show as well. And they was like, how is he still able to connect with these kids? And I said, man, you can name a high school, middle school. Greg can name a PE teacher there. He can name the assistant principal.
The principal. He got everybody's number.
Everybody.
He done took everybody fishing.
Yeah. I was like, that's how he's been able to stay connected and stay relevant.
Of course.
And it goes into what you said. Guys like you, Ryan, Frank, Tig, y'all out here, y'all really in the community, man.
I talked to Tigger a couple of days ago when Magic Johnson was here, and I just congratulated him on the BET thing and everything. And I said, you've given so much, you know what I mean? And I said, I don't know I know BET has recognized you, but really when Bob Johnson sold BET, you should have got a piece.
Yeah, man. That should have been a no-brainer.
Everybody who was on that air should have got a little piece,
Yeah.
even if it was 1% or 0.5%.
Because you think about it, the
They
importance
shoulda
of
got
what
it.
Rap City was.
Of
to us.
course,
Yeah,
of course.
come
To
on, man.
BET, that was it.
Yeah.
That made BET. Him,
sure
Donnie
did.
Simpson, everybody.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
Donnie Simpson and what was the
but you know what he
Cheryl was it Sherry Carter?
yeah and what Tigger said was he said do you know how many of my interns are running businesses? I said, me too.
Wow.
I said, me too. I said, I'll never be broke because I got so many interns out there running shit right now. One of them would give me a job.
And that lets you know that your hands have been involved to really push and make shit happen, man.
I was at the Magic Johnson thing. I'm not going to say her name. She came up to me. Told me her name, and she said, "Do you remember me?" I said, "Absolutely, I remember." And she's running a major company right now, major. And I was like, I didn't know she was doing that. And I said, "What you been doing?" And she told me. And I was like, "Oh shit!" So you know how she remembers me? 12 years old. I did that trip when she was 12. I did that trip to South Africa.
I remember that.
And I took my sons, Franklin, Harrison, and Blake, to South Africa with a bunch of listeners from V103.
I remember.
Her father took her and all her siblings because I was taking my kids. She said, "I went to South Africa because of you."
Damn. Well, I know that
at
made
12
you
years
feel,
old.
Man. And now she's a big executive running the business.
Yes, of course. Yeah. But it goes, I can, the list is vast. I got off the Delta flight. Coming back when I took Jeezy fishing last weekend, right?
Yeah.
I get off the Delta flight. The gate agent is there. It's like, "Frank Ski." I said, "Yeah, brother." You know, he said, "I played in the first Youth Bowl.
Damn.
I played for Ben Hill."
Damn. What was that, about 99? When was the first Youth Bowl? 2000?
Yeah, probably somewhere around there. I said, "It's service, bro.
That's
it's service."
Impact. That's the impact that this brother has had.
When you serve, people remember.
Yes, they do.
God works in crazy ways. I'm going to tell you this real quick, just show you how God works. I wanted to take my family to the Georgia mountains to an Airbnb. And you hear all these rumors like, "Oh, Airbnb people won't rent to you if you're black," and all this other stuff, right? So I found this like nice little house up there, and I wanted to go fishing. And it just so happened that this house has a trout lake on the property. It's like a private lake. So I hit the guy and I said, "I really want to bring my wife and my 4-year-old daughter just to spend the weekend." And I signed it, Frank Ski Rodriguez. White guy hits me back. He said, "Man, do you know how many times your inspirational vitamin saved my life?"
Whoa.
God.
Whoa.
I met him and he said, "I listened to your inspirational vitamin and I heard Bishop Eddie Long one day and I had to go to the church." White guy. Went to all black New Birth. Met his wife. She black. They got kids. Their house.
But he said that saved his life.
Saved his life. I do the inspirational vitamin because God wants me to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of service. I don't know who it's going to affect.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it affects me.
Hey, man. That's why we got Frank Ski on this show, because this is the type brother he is, man. Before we get out of here, though, Frank, a couple things before I bring New Face in.
Before you bring New Face in, I'm going to tell you one story, but go ahead, finish your thing.
Because I really respect your music acumen.
Yeah.
And just your whole cachet. One producer, one songwriter. Who you picking to do an album?
One producer?
And one songwriter.
What kind of album am I doing?
Whatever album you want. I'm Frank Ski. Doing a rap album. We're going to keep it. You're doing a rap album right now.
Pete Rock.
Wow. That's your producer?
That's my producer. Because he loves music.
And you're doing an R&B album. What songwriter?
Neo.
Interesting.
I can't say R. Kelly. Shit, I'd be in trouble.
No, shit, nah. No, so R. Kelly and Neo.
No, it'd be Neo.
Okay.
It'd be Neo.
Okay.
Neo writes from his heart.
All right.
So I want to tell you this story before New Face comes in.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. I just want to say this. And I heard Red Alert mention this on a podcast. And he was the first person that I really heard publicly say this on a major podcast. So one of the pivotal moments in hip hop was a rap battle at Harlem World between Kool Moe Dee and the rapper Busy Bee. That was the first rap battle that ever went down, right? The rap battle happened at an event called the Harlem World DJ Convention, right? MC Convention. And it was a contest.
Early 80s.
Yep, 82. It was a contest. I was in New York. My uncle was one of the owners of Harlem World. And I told my uncle, I said, I'm going to get in this rap contest. I'm on stage. One of the other people in the amateur division, Dougie D, who's Dougie Fresh. Me, Frank Ski. Get up there, and I won the amateur division.
Over Dougie Fresh?
Yes.
Okay.
But not anymore. Dougie Fresh will blow me out the water.
I'm saying back then you won on 82.
But we were just kids.
It don't matter. You
right?
won, though.
Yeah, I won.
Okay.
The funny thing is, when I got on stage, I mentioned that I had come up from Florida. And I'm on this stage, and I can play it for you. And I said, I just came here to let you know that the South can do this too. So before Andre 3000.
Years before Andre 3000.
Damn right.
Frank motherfucking Ski said, we going to need that audio.
I got it.
Look. Frank, before Andre 3000, got up at the Source Awards. What was that, 95?
I got it. I'll play it for you. But go
Frank
ahead.
Ski said, the South got something to motherfucking say.
That's right.
Hey, man, this is my brother right here, man. This dude right here. We could talk for hours and hours about your philanthropy.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy right here, and I said at the beginning of the show, the reason I wanted to have him on is because people need to know.
Absolutely.
They need to know what he's done and
Thank
what,
you, bro.
And your contributions, Frank. And I just want to tell you, man, I'm not on a personal level, the things you've done for me, man. And, hey, boy, we could, like I say, we could talk music because you are one of the few cats that have seen it from, like I say,
beginning.
Not even with that story, you being Dougie Fresh in the Harlem World, like you've seen it from New York to Baltimore to the A. You've been there, man. And I just want to tell you, boy, I appreciate you. I love you. I'm gonna bring my brother New Face in, and let me tell you something. What New Face is about to show you, boy. This shit. Well, my new.
I'm scared.
Let me tell y'all, New Face. Of course, for those who watch the show every week, he's the hip hop hoarder. And he's really his contributions to the culture are unmatched. And he's coming in right now because he has something special. He's got a couple questions probably for you too.
Come on, New Face.
Storytime with legendary Jerry. Of course, every week we have our special segment with my brother. Mr. New Face was there.
All right.
New Face, the hip hop hoarder. He's the hip hop historian. There's so many adjectives I can use, Frank Ski. But just know for New Face to be here and he got some surprise. I don't know what he might pull out. He gonna pull out something, but I want to introduce my brother New Face. He got to come in here with Frank Ski.
Hey man, thank you, man. And first of all, I'm really honored to be in this position, man. You two are brothers that I'm really from the outside looking in, I look to. For support. You were one of them people that you spoke about the brother with the inspirational vitamin, how you inspired them. I had children at the time. And so you on the radio while I'm taking the daughters to school, you were that station that I turned to when I was pumping the gas and I knew it was okay if they were listening. You were in their arms while I went in the store. I knew they were safe with you.
Thank you.
The things you were doing before people were even waking up, that was the inspiration to me. And one of the things I want to just say personally that the adversities you went through, you was that person that I looked to where something happened, maybe a position changed or a different station or a different this, and your bounce back was just phenomenal, brother. I always seen, even before social media, the streets, what you heard what happened to Frank, and every time you bounce back, and I just wanted to personally say, I always looked at that as a reflection and a motivation. And as far as the children, me and Jerry Clark talk about our children and how proud I am. I wanted to just say how proud you are of Franklin. I be with Jeezy and it really, and I know Chris, I know Jeezy, but I'm with him. When I see Franklin,
Yeah.
I really go to him, and I'm just like, because
It's crazy,
it's
right?
amazing.
Life,
So
yeah.
one, I wanted to say, one, how proud you are of him, and how did that interaction, how did you interact with that, and how did that come into fold with that position for Franklin?
You know, Franklin has never wanted to be a musician or anything. He just wanted to be on the business side of it. He thinks like a businessman, and he went to school at LSU, and he thought he was going to come out and work for Kevin Liles. And you know, we were talking about it, and he did everything. I mean, he started playing golf just because he was going to come out and have this position. And right around that time, Jay hit me and was like, "What you think if I interview Franklin?" And I was like, "Dope, go right ahead." So I had to step back, and he was like, I said, "Look, listen, if it don't work, it don't mean nothing between me and you. It's you got to feel comfortable, you know." So I make sure that I keep a balance between his relationship with Jeezy and what he's doing, and then me and Jeezy has a separate relationship. We don't even talk about it.
I was wondering how that
because
how that worked.
you know, Franklin has to he has to take the hits and the knockdowns and the corrections, and he's learning, but he's going to be a great music executive, and I'm proud of that, because I want to make sure when I'm not here, there's somebody keeping the legacy alive. And when you are a parent and you have a child that kind of follows in the industry that you're in, it really means a lot. I have an inspirational vitamin book coming out, and I got a whole chapter about that as Black people, we need to be more determined in making sure our kids follow what we do, because we've opened up a lot of doors. So if you, Jerry Clark, and you open up all these doors for other people, why can't you open up the doors for your own kids and keep the legacy alive? And the problem is we keep changing what we do from generation, and we never really build real wealth, because we don't have nothing that we can say this business been around for 100 years. And the only way we're going to do that is if our kids keep following what we do. So if you're a doctor, you need to have doctor kids, just like white folk and Jewish people do.
Yeah.
If you in the music, your kids need to do something with music. They can be a musical lawyer, anything they want to do, but it should be related to what, because we've opened up too many doors. So I'm proud that he's in that place. He's getting his knocks though.
Yeah,
it ain't easy. It ain't easy. Yeah. He's like, I'm working all these hours, Dad. Oh my God, I've gotten 3 hours of sleep. I was like, boy, at least you getting paid.
Damn right.
Yeah, shit, we was doing it, wasn't getting paid.
No, yeah, exactly.
So again, as a father, it's great to see as well. And like Jerry said, I did bring something out. And honestly, I had this at the house, but I'm sending it. I'm decorating the boat for the Rock the Bells cruise.
Yeah.
So I had the cassette single.
Oh my God.
Of this right here.
Woo! There it is, right there.
Show the camera. Show the camera. Zoom in on
that one right there.
Yeah.
So I didn't have that physically, but I do have that one.
Oh.
But what I did was this old magazine. When I was at Earwax Records, I would get these magazines, right? And there was in the back of it, I showed Dallas this. It was this situation. There's this photo here.
Wow.
And can you let the
Frank,
listeners
look how you
know?
Wow.
Let the listeners
Frank, look. Hey, that motherfucker had a full head, look like a damn texturizing his head. Look at the waves and shit.
Wow.
You remember that moment with the mayor of Atlanta at the time, right?
With the mayor of Atlanta.
With Mayor Bill Campbell.
And me and Jerry are just marveling over like how many people we lost. That's right on there. If you notice, there's Shake on there.
Yeah.
Cuddy from
Pulp,
Cuddy from Jim Crow.
Wow.
Shakir.
This is crazy, man. This is unbelievable. Yeah.
And lastly, the evolution. Recently, I was at the Tabernacle and Gucci Mane brought out T.I.
Yeah.
I know you are in radio, and you've been with these three gentlemen right here. So I brought these out. And if you could just speak to the evolution of these gentlemen from your perspective, from radio personally, and trap music as a whole.
It really humbles me to see these three artists because I know all three of them. I was very close to Jeezy, and when Jeezy came out, he came to one of my wine tastings at my house, and he always tells me, he said, "Man, when I walked into your house and I saw, your family and all them people in the house that you was raising money for kids," he said, "This is what I want in my life." Mm-hmm. And that meant a lot, T.I., when T.I. was on house arrest, He called me to come to his house and rap with him and just hang out with him. When Gucci Mane was in jail, he wrote me a letter from jail.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's like, you know, and I think that it's not because, oh, I'm your hangout buddy, or I'm gonna come and we're gonna turn up and whatever. It's not that. It's like you have to be a person of a certain moral character when people are going through shit
Hmm.
and they need to talk to somebody. You're gonna be non-judgmental because I've been where they are. You're gonna be loving. You're gonna give it to them straight, and you're gonna let them know what it is.
Mhm.
And I think that to see all of them and where they've grown to, I'm just like super proud of the culture because they are proof positive that you can go from being crazy and rambunctious in the street.
It's all about growth.
Yeah.
That's the key word,
And
growth.
speaking of being there for somebody personally, I remember being at Jerry Clark's birthday party some years ago, and there was a story told where Jerry Clark needed letters for the judge or recommendations, if I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I needed a letter, just a character letter, because I was about to I was under federal investigation. I was about to go do prison time, and I needed some character letters. So I reached out to people that I considered to be friends and family. And I'll never forget, my attorney hit me and was like, "Hey, man," he was like, and it wasn't even I don't even think a day had passed, maybe 2 days, and my attorney hit me and said, "Man, we already got one letter." And I was like, "Oh, cool. Who is it?" He was like, "Frank Ski." He was like, "Man, that you," and all the stuff, he was like, "All the stuff you said about him is really true." Cause this man, he's a lot of people, some of their closest friends and family never even come through. As simple as it is doing a character letter. And this brother right here, when I needed him the most, he was there for me.
Thank you.
That's the type cat he is. And he's
That's
always
real.
been like that. We
That's
watched our
real.
kids grow up and everything.
Everything.
So, you know,
That's real.
that's why it was so important, New Face, to have him on Storytime with
And
Legendary
I
Jerry,
definitely
man.
want that story to be told on this platform. And lastly, these are some quick round questions.
Okay.
Real quick. You know, hip hop turned 50, you know, recently. What was, out of these 50 years, your personal favorite hip hop moment?
My personal favorite hip hop moment of all time. It would have to be, I was invited to New York for Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt album release at Roseland. And I remember I'm outside and I couldn't get through the crowd, and Mike Kaiser at Def Jam at the time, Mike Kaiser was like, "Ski, come through." And they pushed through and brought me in. And I'm just like, because I was living at the time in Baltimore, and I walk in and it's just like a sea of people. And it was the first time I really saw that rah-rah that hip hop was going through at the time, right? And then I saw the crowds, the sea part, and I'm like, who the hell is that walking through the crowd? And it was like JD and the Brat. And it was just like, and to see him get up on stage and do Ain't No Nigga, it was just like a magical moment for me, because that was one of the albums that really touched me the most in my whole life, that Reasonable Doubt album, for so many reasons.
Yeah, so that moment at Roseland. And you've been hip hop through the 50 years. And hip hop has backlash, down 40% with the sales. People were talking, you know, you talked about the women in rap. The best and worst things about hip hop, in your opinion?
The best thing in hip hop is it has fed a lot of people, man. It has fed a lot of people. The worst part about it is the same people are in charge.
Shit.
Say that again.
Oh,
Shit.
Hey, marinate on that.
Say that again. We're going to leave that right where it is, Frank.
Okay.
And the last one, if you could bring back any hip hop artist, in this last 50 years that we've lost a lot of them. If you could bring back 2 to 3 of them, who would you bring back and why?
I would bring back Pac, because I think Pac had the best balance of anybody. Pac was the one who obviously knew Black civil rights and culture so much, and he rapped about it. And from Brenda's has a baby to Dear Mama to whatever, he always had a message, but he was still gangster that he wanted to be. I think he would have been an incredible actor now. And we'd have been debating who's better, him or Denzel.
Mhm.
I really think we lost like Biggie way too early.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I just think he had so much more to give. He wasn't even in his spot yet. Yeah, that I would say those two.
Mhm.
Definitely. Well, I appreciate your time, and
Thank
it's
you,
an
man.
honor to sit at this table. Thank you again,
Thank you.
Jerry,
Hey
for this
man, New
moment,
Face,
brother.
thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody, this is my brother Frank Ski. As you all know, Frank, give everybody your social media handles before we get out of here.
It's at Frank Ski. That's it. At Frank Ski.
Storytime with Legendary Jerry.
Come on.
I am Jerry Clark, aka the Legendary Jerry. New Face, Frank Ski. We signing out. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you. Appreciate you. Storytime with the Legendary Jerry is hosted by me, the one and only Jerry Clark. Music has been provided by July, the producer. If you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe to Storytime with the Legendary Jerry on YouTube and wherever you listen to podcasts. And make sure you follow us on all social media platforms at the Legendary Jerry Podcast. For more podcasts from iHeartMedia, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.